We're live! Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well out there in your homes, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Because we are going live across a couple of platforms, I'm going to give everybody a minute to hop on and start saying hi. I'm getting some messages that people are trying to log on. So thank you for logging on. Today, you guys, I have an incredible guest on the Pretend Talk Show. I'm still working on like a cool intro music piece to make it sound like a real talk show. But for today, you're just going to have to deal with my voice. I won't sing. Today, I am so honored, delighted, and thrilled beyond measure to have Karen Donaldson on our show. She is my personal coach, and she has completely transformed not just my life, but certainly my business. In the past only 4 months we've been working together. She is a communication and body language expert. And without further ado, everybody, please join me. Welcome her in the chat. Give her all kinds of love. Please welcome Karen Donaldson to the Pretend Talk Show. Hi, Karen.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm loving the ability to do this. You know, you're in Canada right now. Where in Canada are you?
I'm in Toronto, Canada. So it's nice to be able to be online, and you're over in California. I'm in the cold. It's snowing outside. But yeah.
It's snowing?
There were snow flurries. It was nuts. It looked like
God.
a blizzard, and I tried not to look outside. So I'm glad to be here.
I'll bring you some of the California sunshine, though. To be honest, today it is it's like overcast and rainy. I feel like the world is kind of like crying with us with this mess that we're dealing with, but the sun will come back. But it's so cool to be able to connect, you know, across the globe to anybody, and to have a little chat show here today.
It is. Thank you so much for having me on. You know, this is we have such a platform to showcase people, answer questions, and just gather people, especially during these times.
Yeah, and it's something that you've been coaching me on, and something that I've now taken to some of the clients or people that I've been speaking to is utilizing like the functions of social media, like this, like your lives, like your video function. So I'm really trying to lean into that, and I think doing it with purpose is sort of the difference that I know a lot of people you pop onto Instagram or Facebook and there's like a million people live, but I hope that we're able to provide some real value, and you certainly can do that. Why don't you tell everybody, kind of maybe bring us up to speed with a little bit of your story, who you are, and what you do?
For sure. Thank you so much. So I'm going to give you the condensed version because it can be long. So here, I'll give you my title and then I'll tell you what I really do. So I'm a communication, body language, and confidence coach and speaker. So that's the technical name. But nonetheless, I do one of a few things. And the first thing I do is I show people how to increase their impact and increase their influence whenever they speak, no matter the platform. So whether it's, in a conversation, whether it is on stage, or whether it's addressing an audience, I show people how to be comfortable in their own skin. So that's one side of things. And the foundation of all of that is owning your confidence. And some of the other work that I do is I show entrepreneurs how to add professional speaking to their business model the right way so they can get booked and paid to speak and really impact people's lives and travel the world speaking if they want to do that. So that's Karen Donaldson.
Yeah, and I just threw up your Instagram handle. You guys, if you're not following Karen on Instagram, I just have to plug you because you give away like all these really great free tips on your Instagram. That's actually how I found you, was via Instagram. You had some really great content up on there, and I admittedly kind of stalked you for a little while first. And I was like, wait, this is so great. And then I come to find out that you actually coach, as you said, people to take public speaking into their business model. And that was something I just didn't even know you could do. And I'll get into a little bit of how that's changed sort of my life and what I've been up to. But we share a mutual friend and one of your clients, AJ Gibson. Any of my friends in California who know AJ, he's a hugely accomplished host and is all over the place. And you work with him as well.
I did.
It's a really fun discovery. I think when people think about confidence, right? My first thought is that something you can teach? Can you teach confidence?
No, for sure. That's a really good question. Here's why. There's this big misconception about confidence, but to answer it directly, yes, and watch this. People believe that confidence is an emotion And it is not. It is not. You know, you always hear people, you know, how do I feel more confident? I don't feel confident. And as long as we think we can feel confident or more confident, we are like walking a losing battle. Because here's a reality, Ashley. Confidence is not an emotion. It's an attitude and a behavior. And we can choose to act confidently at any time. So once we stop, you know, trying to feel confident, because it's not an emotion, happiness, anger, sadness, those type of things are emotion, then you can shift it and show up confidently in any situation, anytime, because you now know how. So it's something that you can shift anytime.
And this applies to I believe this, that confidence, it's sort of like, oh, I'm fine, I'm not nervous. But really, I think you can speak to how it applies to every business, no matter what division or section you're in. It applies to every type of person. Like, it's actually something that can help across the board, whether you're a mom, a teacher, a nurse, whatever you are. I feel like being able to confidently present yourself makes a huge impact. Talk to me a little bit about that.
No, for sure. I mean, when I talk about confidence or when I use the word communication, I have a lot of people who say, well, Karen, I don't want to be on stage. I never want to run a meeting or lead a meeting. But that's not even it. Just like you said, it's also just being confident enough to speak up and share what you're feeling. And instead of kind of going with the flow, when in here you're like, I don't want to do this, you can, not aggressively, right? Or not, you know, like with your fists up, you can just verbalize what you want or how you feel, because your voice matters, right? Confidence comes down to self-belief. And so it's applicable for everyone. Like you said, the mom, it's going into the office or going to that teacher, that parent-teacher interview and saying what you think. Or if the teacher says something, saying, you know what, I don't believe that to be true, but being able to confidently say that is the key thing. Right.
Yeah. And it's not like a confrontation. It's not like a, you know, it doesn't have to be this icky thing. It's like, actually, I think it takes away some of the confrontation when you're not charging. Like, for example, let's say you have a disagreement, or your opinion is different from what, you know, you go into a parent-teacher conference or whatever. Being able to come from a place of not an emotional, you know, yucky place, but confidently say, I feel differently, here's why, and feeling, you know, empowered, I think, to speak up. I think that's just key. So I threw up on the bottom of our screen here, you have a confidence challenge that's totally free for anybody who wants to do it.
Totally free. I definitely do. I have a 14-day confidence challenge. It's actually going throughout the entire month of April. So I invite everyone to join it. We are kind of midway through, but people are having so many breakthroughs and transformations. And like you said, confidence does not have to be this icky thing. It's just really believing that what you think matters. And when you believe that, you act that way. So it's just showing up comfortable in your own skin, because you're fine as is. And that's the thing. If we watch online, we look at all the things that we don't have. I need more of that. Oh, I'm not that. You know, and the focus is on everything we need to work on. But there's so much that's right about us. And when you own that, you can confidently say what you need to. And it never has to be a confrontation, right?
Yeah.
Being open to share what you think. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
I was so, there's so much to unpack there that I want to say, you know, you helped me see. I was really, honestly, like, I wanted to keep you as my like secret treasure. I didn't want to share you with anybody, because I thought, I don't want everybody to know the secret sauce. I don't want everybody to know how to do this, because it's like, you changed it so much for me. But to add on to what you're saying, it's really this idea that just you as you are is perfect and enough. And for that reason, there is no competition, because we're all this different person.
Right.
Yeah, I've just loved learning that. And it's been so great to now be able to not just share, but be like, you guys, please, like, take advantage of that. I mean, I think, like I said, I started off kind of dabbling in just the free offerings that you put out there, which are so helpful. And hi, everybody that's joining. We actually have someone from our mastermind group in the chat today. Hey, Seema. Hey, Jeanette from San Luis Obispo. It's so good to see you guys here. And hi, Patricia. Patricia was on a show with me. Karen, I don't know if you know this, but I was on, and Patricia and I both were on camera correspondents for this show called Chasing the Cure Live with Ann Curry. So talk about needing confidence. They many times during that show, the producers would run over to me, zero prep, and say, hey, can you go live with this hit in the next 30 seconds? Here's what we need you to say. And like, talk about needing to really tap into confidence on the broadest level. But can you talk a little bit about what people can expect from some of the 14-day challenge, or what they can?
Of course, really good question. So the 14-day challenge, we really start with redefining what you believe to be true about confidence and what it has to do with you. And it has to start there. You know, too often people will go out and say, okay, let me look online for confidence hacks. Let me look online for tools and strategies. And it's much more than that. So we unpack and help you redefine what confidence is. Then we move through things like, you know, stop faking it until you make it. And I'm that person who's totally against that. And I'll touch on that in a second. We talk about giving compliments, receiving compliments, and just what you said, there is no competition unless you believe competition exists. There's no one like you, Ashley. There's no one like me, right? And when we walk in that, we also open up room for other people to feel the same way, right? So we lead by example. So when we feel that we're good enough, other people will be like, you know what? Karen has a crooked smile and she's good enough. You know what? My faults, my imperfections, I'm good enough too. And then that's how we actually support people, by leading, right? Yeah. It's not so much telling someone and you do something different, it's totally leading. So in the 14-day confidence challenge, they're only 10 minutes long. I know everyone's busy. They're every morning, Monday to Friday. We do a quick lesson and then I give you a challenge and you post it in the group. And the craziest thing is we have a group of women and men from across the world. So we have someone from Istanbul, the Caribbean, the US, everywhere, Canada. And they're so supportive because I really encourage you sharing your wins and being proud about yourself. And everyone's just like gangbusters on it with everyone else. So it's such a nice environment. And that's just one place I think everyone needs to be. I am in the middle of creating a movement around confidence so people can redefine it and show up and be comfortable in their own skin, wherever, whatever. And Ashley, I'm just getting started.
I'm so excited to hear that. I love that. There's actually a comment in the chat that I think perfectly sort of speaks to what you're saying. And Kimberly Wells, hello. Hi, Kimberly. She says she finds it frustrating that people often confuse confidence with cockiness. And I know what that's like. Can you speak a little bit about that?
For sure. Here's the thing. The person who's confusing it is a person who has the issue with it. So what I say, do you hear that? The person who has the issue with it is the one who has the person who's saying it has the issue with it. It's not you. So in that moment, we have two choices, right? So we can shift our focus onto the person who is thinking it's cockiness and defend it, or we can continue to walk on the path and be our best selves. Right? Here's the thing, as people share their opinions, we have to realize that the majority of what I think about something is based on my own perceptions. It's based on my personal experience. And in truth, it has very little to do with the person that I might be saying, you're acting so cocky and XYZ. It has to do with them. So we either continue to feel that fire or show up comfortably on our own skin. And I tell people to push over to this side. You're not going to take abuse. That's a totally different conversation.
Right.
You shift it and focus and know that you can't change their mind. The only control you have is you. So you continue to walk confidently. Exactly.
It really is. It's in the least cocky way. It's an inner game. It's all actually about you, period. Because that's all you can control. That's all you can change. And you're in the same way that person who maybe called you cocky is projecting their own fear or their own, feelings of they don't want to speak up. You have the opportunity to project your own, wholeness and goodness onto those other situations.
So the whole goodness that you're projecting, right? We're not going to be combative. Just be you. Like there's nothing wrong. When you're just yourself, you are 100% authentic, real, and right. Because I can't do anything other. And if I do, I'm faking it. Why fake it?
Totally.
Yeah.
Could you give us is there any small actionable thought or tidbit or exercise that the people who are watching could try today?
For sure. There is, let me see. There's a whole set of exercises.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is this, because confidence, I'm always that person who says we have to start at the foundation. So
Right.
once you receive what I've said, that confidence is not an emotion, it's an attitude and behavior, and we can choose it. Our confidence is actually driven by what we believe to be true about ourselves. So my challenge to everyone watching is this: actually take a piece of paper and a pen and write down, I love my pen, my Swarovski pen.
Oh, you got a good pen.
I want to write down, what do you believe to be true about yourself, right? So write down I am statements, and watch this. After you've written them all down, like just a laundry list, limitless, look on there and see which ones come from someone else. And we don't know ones that people have told us. I think no, the question is, what do you believe to be true about yourself? And a lot of the time, we're not left with a lot, because we then realize that a lot of those self-beliefs that we have come from everybody else but us. And we can't define ourselves through that. So you're going to make the list. You're going to really cross off what's not yours and tell yourself, what do you know to be true? And this is not up for anyone else's judgment. What do you know to be true about you? And I usually tell people to take a picture of that after you've recreated that list. And anytime you're feeling anything other than, happy or good about yourself, look at the list. I'm a great friend. I can freaking smile on people's faces. You know what I mean? So that's what you want to do. That's a starting point, because when you believe that to be true, your voice matters and you feel better. And it takes practice. It's not going to happen overnight, but you have to start. Make an intentional choice to start.
I love that, creating that I am list. And I wonder, what are your thoughts on this? If you were to create the I am list and put both the things that you know to be true, that are quote unquote positive about yourself, and then maybe the ones that you believe that are the negative things about yourself. And is there something to maybe crossing off or dispelling the things that, you don't want to own anymore, or you don't want to be something that you embody or be true? Do you talk about, do you really prefer to focus on just the positive qualities about yourself that you own? Or do you have any, is there any, credence to kind of getting out all the stuff and seeing all the things that you believe about yourself so that you can unpack them?
For sure. So here's the other thing that you can do, because a lot of the things that we believe aren't true about ourselves are those weaknesses. They're not self-imposed. They come from our external environment, right? So what I try and do is really bring us back to self-choice, because that's what's not happening. And if you've never asked yourself, what do I choose to believe about myself? Then that means you're having everyone else and everything else choose for you. But to answer your question directly, you can put down what you believe not to be working, but what you'll have a look at, and this is a good exercise, you'll have a look at it and see, okay, where did that come from, right? And when you start to identify that is not even yours, right? For me, an example, depending on who you speak to, my family, I talk too much. And that was a curse. There was like, Karen, stop talking. Karen, they used to call me so many names because I always talk too much. But look at me now.
And now you have a career in public speaking.
That was mine. And some family members that I'll see, they're like, Chatterbox Karen's here. I'm like, yes, I am. You can call me that, but this is communication coach Karen now, right? So where that came from, and look at it, and you might have to release it and say, you know what, that wasn't mine. It's not mine. However, I am this, right? It's this. So we can look at our weaknesses, but we can't stay there, because we've been groomed to stay with and sit with our weaknesses and sit with what doesn't work. So now you can make the choice. We've been doing this for like decades, looking at our weaknesses. Can we not just spend, I don't know, the next couple of years talking about our strengths?
Amazing. Yeah. And I think there's even some beauty in finding those weaknesses, because like they're actually this incredible gift. They said they have served you. They have made you this person that you are. So I feel like that's something for me too, that the things that I don't like about myself, or the I am statements that kind of make me cringe a little bit. I think in unpacking those, as you said, where did those come from? Who did I pick those up from? And either I can let them go because, okay, I can see that that's no longer true, or, okay, there might be some truth to that. And maybe I did talk too much, or maybe I was, too loud, but maybe I needed to be, because that's how I was able to, find that I love being a host, or whatever the case may be. So I really love that exercise, that I am exercise. Thanks everybody that's with us in the chat. Good to see you, Greg Ricks. Hi. If you guys have any questions for Karen, she is such a valuable resource, and we've got her live. So feel free to throw some questions in the chat, Karen, if you're willing to take some questions from our audience. Yeah, so toss them in the chat. We're on there. I'd love to talk a little bit about specifically that speaking business that you have just been so successful with, and that I have just started diving into and I'm loving. So if I may brag on you just a little bit, if that's okay. Karen is quite humble, but I know that you run I won't say the number, but very successful speaking business. Something that I aspire to achieve that level of financial success someday. And you know, what was really attractive to me is I love talking. I love talking to people. A lot of you guys know who are here from my page, I'm a host, so and that's freelance, right? So it's not really steady. So whenever I have a chance to cover red carpet or make my own talk show, you know, I love doing that. But what you taught me, Karen, is taking not just this love of talking, but the thing that makes us all unique is actually this expertise that we can share with the world. Can you talk to people that might be interested in public speaking or a career in public speaking, and kind of what you might advise someone who is thinking about it?
For sure. You know, and I believe that I know and believe that we are all experts in some capacity. And when we don't share what we know, if we have information that can truly help other people, we are truly being selfish and a disservice to everyone around us, but because it's okay to shine. So when it comes to this whole speaking, you know, thank you so much, but I've been in business for over 20 years. I've been speaking for over 20 years and doing the actual coaching component and my program called Speak and Get Booked. Nonetheless, that whole rationale around getting booked and paid to speak, there's such a great opportunity, because here's the thing. There's a lot of speakers out there or experts out there, and a lot of people are speaking for free and sharing their expertise for free. But there is a full industry, the professional meeting planning industry with professional speakers, where they are looking for experts to speak at events, to speak at conferences, to speak at corporations, organizations, training camps, masterminds. So they're looking for people who can come on stage or come in front of a group and share their expertise and share it in a manner and say, this is a differentiation. Share it in a manner where you're leaving behind concrete information so the people in the audience can leave the setting and get the results that you've just spoken about. And that's what I help people do. So it's more than just speaking. There's a science to what you say and how you say it to ensure that, number one, you're relatable. Number two, people actually receive the information you're trying to give. And the other piece, the big piece, when you talk about, you know, how do you build a lucrative speaking business? Karen, where do I start to get booked and paid to speak? The meeting planning, the meeting planning industry is literally its own world. And you have to show up in a certain way to get their attention. And that's exactly what I help my clients do all over the world. We have clients everywhere. And I have, you know, various programs, whether it's one-on-one coaching, and, you know, I have my mastermind and my academy where people can learn how to do that, you know, invest in themselves and truly impact the world with their message. And sometimes it sounds cheesy, Ashley, but it's true.
It totally is true. And, you know, I think, and I'll say, I invested in your course, and full disclosure, it was the most money I've ever spent on coaching. And it was the most I've ever shown up for myself. Because I was like, oh my God, this is a big amount of money. I need to take this seriously. I can't slack off. And even though I've been so busy, what started the program for me, the hardest part was actually the very beginning. And I think what you so gracefully walked us through is helping us see, you know, I didn't believe that I had anything to say that anybody would give a crap about or that would be helpful. And you were so graceful in helping me see, hello, you have worked for decades in, XYZ industry, of course. And now I know, I'm like, oh yeah, I really do have information that can help people. And that was a real turning point for me too, is seeing that this isn't about being cheesy or getting paid gigs. It's really what you said, sharing this information with people and realizing you actually have value to share. That was a huge thing for me. And wow, in the past 3 weeks, I feel like with the onset of COVID, it kicked me into high gear, and being able to lean on the pillars that you've taught me, yes, there's a certain style to present your materials and everything, and which of course I couldn't have done without you, but really believing that I actually have something to say that's worthwhile has been huge and has led to, 4 speaking gigs in the past 3 weeks. So,
And I tell everyone, Ashley's one of my golden clients. So I love all my clients, but she's a golden client. She takes action. And that's the thing about the program. If you take action, you get the results. And Ashley's one of those people, as she shared, it's, the social distancing, but because there's so many business models, there's 14 plus business models, speaker business models that exist. And when you know that, you don't have to have those hilly ups and downs. A lot of people only speak about or think about speaking on that big stage with thousands of people looking at you. There's so much more to the business of speaking. And when you know that, that's how you truly create either a part-time or full-time career and just literally impact so many people and stop being selfish. Because when we own that hat, that you share that challenge in the beginning, own our area of expertise, like literally own that, you know what? Yeah, I'm kind of good at this. And it's okay for me to say that. And let me help people who don't have that information. Then you fine. And like, it's just possible for so many people if they choose to see it and see it in themselves and then take the follow through action to do it.
Absolutely. I love that so much. It's been such a wonderful, really frankly rewarding past couple of weeks. And money aside, though, that's wonderful. But it's been like, oh yeah, oh my gosh, I do matter. I do have things, and wow, I'm like A to B helping people. I get feedback from the people that I talk to, and they're like, wow, that helped me so much. I had no idea. And I guarantee you that each one of you has that thing that can help somebody. And wouldn't that feel amazing to be able to share that, like, worldwide, big time? My dad's in the chat. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. I'd say a word. I don't know if I can say it, but she's kick-ass, amazing. Sorry.
He's okay with that word. But I know that there are some really wonderful people in this group, men and women. And one of the gals that's on, if she's still on, Kimberly Wells, who talked before, she's incredible. She goes on, she's an HSN host. She will talk for hours on Home Shopping Network. I keep telling her, like, girl, you have she needs to get herself some of these speaking gigs that like you can help coach. I think that it's a scary time to invest in anything right now. And I'm certainly not, this is not a sales tool. This is literally me not being afraid to finally share my secret weapon, my Karen Donaldson. So I'm sharing her with you guys and take advantage of her, certainly at least of her free program, which if you look at the bottom of the screen, we're scrolling rather, a link to her program. I'll also pop it in the chat afterwards so you guys can check it out. Totally free, and it's just a joy to have your content in my life daily. So I think you guys would enjoy it too. Is there anybody in the chat or who's on right now who wants to like float an idea by Karen, or say, is this something? I know, like Patricia, if you're still on, she's a Rodan and Fields. Correct me if I'm wrong, Patricia, but she's a sales rep for cosmetic companies. And I think there's just so much opportunity for all of the people out there. And I know it might be a scary time to invest in anything, but I really noticed that when I invested in myself and showed up for myself, I like had to really go to the next level. So I thank you for everything you've done personally in my life. Is there anything else you want to tell any of the viewers, or advice for confidence or public speaking, or any of the things that you're an expert on?
A couple of things. Here's the biggest thing, and I think it was big for me when I realized it. And I didn't really go into my story, but I'll tell you it shortly. A lot of people ask, Karen, how did you get into communications and that type of thing outside of being a chatterbox? I know, you think it was aligned, but it wasn't, because I was believing what people said about me. I have a Bachelor of Applied Science, but here's how it went. I'm also a high school mom. So my last year of school, I found out I was pregnant. And as you know, if you're coming on, I'm from Toronto, Canada. And I received a full track scholarship to the US. And I found out I was pregnant after I received the scholarship. And I'm still in Toronto, so I couldn't accept it. But at that time, I lost all of my friends. The teachers were so disappointed in me. Family didn't want to talk to me. I was missing school. And I felt like this. People made me feel like that. And prior to that, I was AB student. I was a debate team. I was really good with the teachers. I was a mentor, everything. And people wouldn't sit with me anymore. Like people didn't talk to me except for about 3 or 4 friends. And there was this one time I was walking home and I remember the bus shelter. My mom still lived at our family home. And I saw myself in the reflection and I said to myself, Karen, words of others don't define you and you're allowing them to. The opinions of others don't matter unless you allow them to. You are the same amazing person you were before you were pregnant. You're not diseased. You're not contagious. You're just pregnant. And
what an incredible, powerful thought to have as a teenager. That's so wise to have as a teen.
I tell you, Ashley, it was such a hard time. And literally, I lost all of my friends in a matter of like a week when people actually realized I was pregnant. But that time, the bus shelter, I said to myself, and this is my mantra, it's been for life. I share it with everyone, whether I'm working with a CEO, celebrity, stay-at-home mom. It's this: words of others don't define you. You define you unless you allow them to. So it's always really to reclaim our power. And as we talked about confidence and speaking up, here's a key thing. As we get into a situation where we know we want to say something, but it's just not coming out and it's here, and we know we feel a certain way and it's opposed to everyone else, know that you want to start being committed to speaking up and staying unattached to the end result. Because the end result is something we cannot control, because we cannot control the other person, how they'll respond or how they'll react. So the work to be done is being committed to knowing your voice matters and actually speaking up, actually sharing. And that's what I teach. That's the crux of everything that I teach. You're enough. When it comes to, speaking, getting paid, what you know is enough. What you know is enough. Right. I mean, as you heard, I was a single mom, a high school mom. I have a Bachelor of Applied Science. I have no degree in communications. However, I'm the communication coach to politicians and CEOs, right? Because I know what I know. I know my value, right?
Yeah.
I know I can help you. Like, that's it. I know I can help you in this area, maybe not this area. So own what you do know. Own what you know. You know what I mean? And doesn't mean you're not going to grow a little bit, but own it. Own what you know. It's enough right now. Right.
I think, it's truly like speaks to, there's no real like tip or trick to, do this and put your resume in this format and send out your, speaker one sheet and this, and you're done. It's really the biggest work that I've learned with you is all the inner work, is all the stuff leading up to it, knowing that standing in what I believe in, defining my message because it's what I want to say, because it's me and it's all my experiences, and that's valuable. And so is yours, whoever is watching. Your message is valuable too.
That's right.
I love that. There's some people chiming in the chat. We are enough. Yes, Patricia, we certainly are. I'm glad that business is still working for you during COVID. I know it's a tough time, but great for those of us who can pivot to online. Really exciting time.
For sure. It is for us who can pivot to online. Yay, Canada.
Yeah. My family is Canadian. My dad was born in Canada. So was my grandma. Yeah, but I was not. I was born in Vancouver, but Vancouver, Washington. Not Canada.
Oh my goodness. To leave behind, if anyone, I know we touched on it at the end, and as you know, this is how Ashley and I work together. If anyone is interested in even exploring the speaking side of things, I'll ask that Ashley, or we'll put it in the comment area. That actual website is speakandgetbooked.com, and then you'll see all that information and lots of tools and tips in there as well.
Yeah, I will put that up after this broadcast ends. Right now, you are seeing the link on the bottom of the screen to your free confidence program. Yeah. I will definitely post the program that I've been in. And just, again, this is like not a sales tool, but just to be really clear, I have definitely turn this into a business with the help of Karen. And it's been fantastic. And it is as we all have been impacted by COVID, it hasn't canceled or changed. It's just made us pivot. So there's a lot of online speaking stuff happening, definitely lots and lots of opportunity out there. And thanks so much for everybody chiming in the chat. It really means a lot that you guys are here and listening and sticking with us. Some really wonderful people, Jeanette, Patricia, my dad. It's so great to see you all here. I think that is where we're going to wrap it up today, Karen. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy, busy woman, and thank you so much for all that you have shared with us and continue to share. And I'm just so appreciative.
Ashley, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for doing this for everyone. Just, enlightening people, bringing your smile, and just sharing your expertise and this, your ability to do all this and show up so seamlessly. When I came on, I'm like, Ashley, do you have it covered? She's like, I got it. And everything. So thank you. It's been an honor.
Yes. Oh, good. Okay. And then if you guys are joining us, if you're not able to watch this live, this will be up on my YouTube, on Karen's page. This show will be here for all of you to watch anytime. Thank you guys for joining us. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next week for the next episode of Pretend Talk Show. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks so much for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.